My name is Faylita Hicks, and I am a many things. So what I'm hoping to confront with my art is not just what it means to be human and what it means to aim for liberation, but to imagine what happens after liberation. That's always what I think my goal is. I have many identities, but I want to find what it means to exist outside of these identities that were forced upon us by colonizers, to step out of the frameworks and societal structures that were given to us, that we inherited. And I was waiting for permission, I can admit that, for people to say it's okay for me to call something art, but eventually I stopped waiting for permission. And so the trajectory is, no, I didn't think I would start off with the spiritual aspect. The spiritual aspect came in with the study of my craft and understanding that I was trying to do something that was real. I feel like too many people are creating just for the sake of creating. And art for me has a purpose. It has a real purpose. For me, it's not, I want to heal, of course, right? Like that's one of the big things. I want it to be a place of healing, but if anything, I want it to be a place of reflection where you're allowed to hold spirituality right next to ratchetness, right? My first book is called Hood Witch, and I was like, I need to twerk right alongside the fact that I'm grieving. Those two things have to live and exist in the same space, because that's what it means to me, is that being a whole human means being able to hold both things at the same time. And I think very often, especially in this society, we are encouraged not to release. And so language for me becomes a tool for release. It becomes a tool for transformation. It becomes a tool for creating something new and pleasurable. A liberation all my own. All I've ever wanted. The hug and smile of a child buoyed by their elders' dreams made real. To be finally settled in my grief. The time and space to unfurl, come undone, the access to myself unencumbered by the insecurity of a shelterless road, to fill four glowing walls with pens, papers, books, and words, to fill all the hours in between our righteous missives with music and laughter and dance, to be trusted with my vision and the patience it takes in practice, to learn and be learned in the fight for our lives, to open a fridge full, to rest in a bed warm, to have a single dime to my name, to have my name be held, to watch the sun drown every room in this house with its wonder, to experience a liberation all my own. There are things that I keep in my car. I have a bag, a special bag that carries the tools, and a special bag that carries all of like the setting, I guess, altar items. And then my tarot cards kind of just go in any bag. A lot of my crystals are currently in the exhibit, and that's because the exhibit has become the new altar space. I didn't have a permanent space to do an altar, and so the exhibit became the altar space.
There's a predetermined lie that people who do multiple things aren't focused. But in fact, these all come from the same place, just outwardly done. All of these things are informed by the same processes, correct?
For the most part, trying to understand what organically needs to happen in a moment and what is most responsive. Sometimes my body needs to move, sometimes I need to write, sometimes I need to sing. And so it kind of, honestly, I'll tell you the driver of almost every project that I've got going on right now is a need to document the moment, and I will document it in every which kind of way. And so the act of handwriting each of these names onto the paper is an act of meditation, and it's an act of memory, of witnessing, not just the names that are given to me on my headlines or on the TV or on the computer or on my social media platforms, but me actually holding space for each individual who is being harmed, and recognizing that these are entire lives. They update each person who has been harmed by DHS or by police. And when I say harmed, they could be killed, they could be in police violence, that kind of thing. And it's being updated every single month. And the idea that technology could literally be the tool we've been waiting on for hundreds of years to hold colonists accountable, to hold people in leadership accountable for what they've done and how they are harming us. There's no more, oh, that could be anything. Nope, here's the documentation of what's happened. And so I felt it was important to start with VHS film. That's why there are so many pieces that are that were based on VHS films, and so they're not just blank tapes. I tried to write the poems that were connected to the movies, and that's a different part of the exhibit that will exist in a larger version of this.
Something knocked loose in us, hisses non-stop. This video contains offensive
They can't arrest
images.
us all.
The backseat contains
Drift over
grief
to where they are not called.
and unable to breathe for a count of 11.
It interprets blank spaces.
Warning.
Another dancing
The
cloud.
world will watch and wait.
Officer
Who does not ask questions.
Chalk vandals with gallery salary.
An officer will find it funny that a man is
About death and its ethereal benefactors.
upstanding members of the community, not this
Being
community.
told what and where.
The voices you hear, though muffled, will threaten to light you up. Be aware the filming of these events could result in prosecution. Be aware the filming of these events do not guarantee saving. Warning, this video contains violence. Proceed with caution. Viewer discretion is advised.
I feel like I can recall certain things from previous times. It's a reason why I feel like I can trust my intuition. I know when this is right. I know when this is wrong. I don't have to necessarily have been taught how to do photography. But there's a version of me somewhere along the way who understood how to make a picture, who understood how to make something beautiful with next to nothing. And I can pull on their information and bring it into this moment, right? And the final outcome, I'm going to make decisions that are based off of my intuition. And that intuition is compounded from everyone else who came before me.